Hey there. Well, I wrote this song yesterday afternoon, and then I went and stayed overnight at the McMenamin's Edgefield Hotel, and then I got back today and I had it stuck in my head, and I thought I should probably play this and record it. I tried to record it in a hurry yesterday before I left, and it didn't turn out right, so I'm going to do this live in hopes that, well, not live, but video. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. It's my way of saying it's far from perfect. I've only played it through 2 times, so I still have to read off the lyrics and hope that my mind can play it properly. Alright, so I don't have a title for it yet. It has a capo on the 2nd fret, and we'll just go from there. Alright, you ready? Here we go. I fell into the sea. I didn't know the tide was so high. I floated there a while, cracked a smile, laughed at the absurdity of how the end is always nigh. Breathe in deep. A story's never told until the last man standing stands no more. All will turn to dust as it must, embracing that which we cannot ignore. Breathe in deep. Imagine that you're still asleep. I fell into the sea. I woke up on an island left by others, built upon the hearts and minds of those who came before us, built upon the efforts of our sisters and our brothers. Breathe in deep. No need to pretend you're still asleep. Breathe in deep. Breathe in deep. I fell into the sea. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously it's a very metaphoric song for me. And I didn't want to just make the song, but maybe talk for a moment about life in general. And I'm kind of torn because sometimes I'll record a song and then I'll put it up and post it, and it will be just the song. But when I talk about something else, it kind of throws it out of the category of just being a tune for my playlist. But I've been playing music since I was 15, 16 years old. I've been writing songs since I was at least 16. I was just thinking earlier today about a poem I wrote when I was like 16, and I just remembered it, like how the lyrics, it says, "My mission in life is to give and not take, to love and not hate, to build and to break. Self-concern is an evil thing. No one's below us and no one is king. Perhaps one day we may break free from the unequal scale of humanity, but day by day, when push comes to shove, the unknown aspect is finding love." And the first few lines, to live and not hate, to love and not hate, to build and to break. I remember being corrected by even my own mom and somebody else who read that, like, no, it should be to build and not break. And I thought back and I said, even at 16, I realized that, no, building and breaking, it's part of the human nature. I can't explain the poetry that I came up with when I did, but even though I enjoyed poetry, I felt like I could never write lyrics very well. They were always very pretentious, but in the long run, reading them back, of course, they don't sound that way. But when you're writing a song, it can sound really cheesy to you. And that's, I guess, the message I want to convey here is that that's kind of how we feel about everything in our lives, if we're not an arrogant prick. That, we question our own art, we question our own music, but also our intentions in life, the decisions we make, the things that we do. I went to, it's my birthday today, and last night my wife and I went to McMenamin's, the Edgefield. It's a motel or hotel, I guess, over in East Portland. Nice, very classic, old school. It's in an old, basically a home for them, mentally feeble and the old. It was like the giant manor house that had a lot of crazy people living there, let's just put it that way, but it has a great history, and they honored that history by putting art all down the hallways of the people who lived there, the situations that happened over the century, and just once in a while they paint over it, some of it, and this, just as we went last night, I noticed that the whole third floor hallway, one whole hallway and down partial, another one was all new 2020 paintings that I hadn't seen yet. All the different musicians, Bob Dylan, Grateful Dead, everybody who has ever played there, even Sheryl Crow. They even have a Chris Isaak room there. But the one we stayed in, we just kind of leave it up to chance. We don't request rooms. They're all named after different people, and I've stayed in several different ones. The one we stayed in last night was Celilo Falls. And it has a cover, or on the door is painted a guy standing at Celilo Falls with a spear, a net and a spear, roped up on this long plank, which looks like a diving board, which is how they would lean over and catch the fish in their salmon migration run. And it has messages about Celilo Falls in there. And it says the story of how, people would travel from Alaska, all the way from Alaska or as far south as California, to meet at Celilo Falls. And a lot of you who don't live here are probably asking, where the fuck is Celilo Falls? I've never heard of it. That's because it doesn't exist anymore. Because in the 1950s, when they built the Dalles Dam out east of Portland, about, an hour, that basically drowned out Celilo Falls. Natives had been gathering there for centuries to fish together. It was a major trade post and trade hub. And when they built the Dalles Dam, it flooded them out. Celilo Falls was on the Columbia River, and it was an area of extreme turbulence. There was no way to get boats or ships through there. By building the dams, Dalles Dam, they were able to set up the Dalles locks, and then they could get their ships up and down. Before that, there was no way. But there was a great place to fish, because the salmon had to get up that area, and there were very narrow channels. Hardcore, we're talking like major falls, but not the kind where it's just straight down. It was an area of the river where it decreased in elevation dramatically. And the history and the stories of Portland are it's really important to me, especially if you're going to live in a place, you want to know the history of that place, right? But I feel like we're kind of losing that. But anyhow, I didn't want to talk for too long. I just wanted to have a general ramble, mention kind of my own mindset, where I'm coming from right now, which is I'm looking to make big changes in life. I feel like I really need to. By writing a song the other day and then following through by recording it, it allows me to feel that, I set up the microphones where I had one for guitar and one for my voice, and I recorded the whole thing in one take, but then I realized the bass was too loud. Recording is one of the most frustrating things, and this is what I want to say to all musicians out there who might be listening. Don't waste too much time with pedals, switches, knobs, and editing. It seems to be that if it's about the music, then play the music. but we get way too tied up in how it sounds and is perfected in the recordings. This is why I can sit down and write a song on acoustic, play it twice, and then come play it for you right now without feeling embarrassed or weird. I have a whole playlist of songs that I've recorded in the past, and when I go back and listen to them, I think, oh boy, this is going to be cringe. And I think, no, I like that song. I wrote it, so I must like it. I played the chords that I like, right? You have to be able to like your own music, or what's the point in playing it, right? It's kind of a weird catch-22 about music. Like, you can't be arrogant, you can't love your own stuff, but you have to. Just like you have to like your own art. Just like that art piece I posted the other day, pretentious ass, like, postmodern cubist crap, as somebody said, left a comment, and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, art seems to follow a pattern, and people go, ooh, I appreciate that because it represents this or that, or sounds like something I know, or it looks like something I know. Sometimes you step outside that box, but for the most part, there's comfortable, people feel comfortable with what they know, and that's understandable. And that's why when I sit down and play a song with a few different chords, I don't feel like I'm using somebody else's chords or progression. There's probably already a song out there that's written that sounds just like that. But anyway, it's a story for another time. I just thought I'd briefly touch base and say hi to everybody and let you all know that I appreciate having people I can talk to on here and listen to and get your opinions and all that. And I appreciate my patrons. I've got a couple new patrons. I don't recall the names at the moment because didn't plan this out. I just kind of came out here and sat down to play it. So I hope you enjoyed this song. And as usual, I was going to go live tonight, but since it's my birthday, I'm going to go in and make lemon bars with my wife and watch a movie with the kids instead. Sounds much more exciting. Be well.